どうもどうもどうもどうも。久しぶり、カイ先輩です。これからよろしくお願いしますね。君、もしかして英語で喋れるようになりたかったらね、これからの、ネイティブ英語の悟りのレッスンを聞いてくださいね。これからだって音に関していろいろ教えたいと思うんですけれども、やっぱり君は、今までちゃんと本物のネイティブスピーカーの本物の英語を聞いたことないかもしれませんね。すいませんね。日本語あんまり使わないんですよね。カリフォルニアにいるからさ。なんか日本語会話のレッスンやろうかな。違うか。日本行ってから、やりたいと思うんですけれども、これから英語でおしゃべりしましょう。英語で考えましょう。ね。で、そのために日本語で話す意味があんまりなくない？もし何か質問があればね、ぜひ聞いてくださいね。これ、直接君と喋ってるから、お会話したいから、何か質問があればね、どうぞチャットのところに何かを、パチパチね、パチパチじゃなくて、なんかうつうつみたいな、タイプしてくださいね。超レイジーだね。なんかコードスイッチングすると。じゃあ、これからちょっと自分の声を、貸してあげる。だってさ、英語で喋れる人は、一人で英語で考えれるの。それで、自分の考え方、英語でやったことありますか？ないかもしれませんね。だから、これからね、俺の声を使って自分の声にしてください。本当に、なんでかわかんないんですけれども、えー英語レッスンみたい。それで、いいのかなって。だってさ、直接英語ネイティブから聞いた方がいいんじゃないの？もし英語の勉強したかったらね。でも、ほとんどの日本人は、他の日本人から学ぶ。ね。で、それは別に悪くないんだよね。もし、英語ネイティブだったらね。でも、その YouTuber の、レッスンとか見ちゃうと、いや、英語ネイティブが少ないんじゃない？みんななんか他の生徒を、なんか生徒から学んでるって感じですね。で、それでもいいんだけど、なんだろうね。逆に考えると、俺、日本語を学んだとき、アメリカ人から学んでないよ。お父さんから学びました。ホストブラザーから学びましたね。小谷先生から学びましたよね。直接日本人から学んで、じゃあ俺もそういう風に喋りたいなと思って、いろいろ聞いて頑張りました。違うかだからこれからね、もしかして君、英語ネイティブの仲間がいないんじゃない？だから喋れないんじゃない？だから自信がないんじゃない？だからこれからね、俺の声を使ってくださいね。So, here we are. Here I am at least. And we're just we are, right? I'm just sitting here ready to communicate with more people around the world. I have this channel right now, but I'm thinking about making a world channel, to be honest, because, like, if you really think about it, there's this world that I want to talk to, you know? And I kind of want to share like this message of like peace, to be honest. Like literally, I've been watching the news recently and it's full of bullshit, it's full of lies, and it's full of propaganda. And I can trust my own heart and see, when somebody's just full of anger and like bad vibes. So I want to be like this peaceful human that goes around to every country and listens to people, shares stories, shares culture, you know what I mean? And kind of like share this kind of like new way of thinking that I don't really think exists out there. When I look at um, my hometown, I can kind of see a lot of people just kind of like they don't really get outside of their hometown very much. And when they do, they don't really go any place like outside of like the norm, like I look around the people and they all just kind of think the same, you know what I mean? So when I look at my hometown, like for example here in California, there are people that are more global and bilingual, trilingual, right? But then there's a lot of people that are just monolingual and just like don't really care about anything going on outside of their own country, you know what I mean? So everybody is not the same. There are people that strive for peace and global peace, and then there's people that just don't give a shit. So I don't want to focus on the people that don't give a shit. I want to focus on the people that want to get together and do this global communication thing, this global consciousness thing that we can all share in if we just get involved, right? But in order to do that, I know that I got to speak one of the languages that is a global language. And I mean, lucky or not lucky, whatever you want to call it, but I speak English because I was born in a country that speaks English. But a lot of us are not born in an English-speaking country. That means we got to fight for it. And it's crazy because I had to fight to learn Japanese, and the only benefit of learning Japanese, but besides my own personal enrichment, my own brain power, is, well, I got to be able to communicate with more Japanese people. So for you guys, if I want to get out there and communicate with more people, I really got to try and learn English. But it's more complicated than just looking at a book, looking at a video, listening to a video. It takes effort. And that effort isn't your hand writing down A, B, or C, turning the pages in your book, clicking stop on a video or start. That's not the effort. The effort is actually way more different than what the schools in Japan teach. I mean, the first thing they give you is a book, and then they show you a chalkboard, and you're already out of bounds. You're already playing the wrong game. It's like you picked up the wrong instrument. So, I look around and I see people not studying the right way, but I want to mimic native speakers. That's how I'm going to learn. That's how I am learning. So I'm going to get out there and try to talk to as many people as possible around the world. And I'm going to try to mimic what they're saying and what they're talking about. If we get out there and we listen to people, even on the internet, we're already learning so much just by like listening to, well, whatever's going on, right? But to physically travel the world, I is one of my goals, and I hope that everybody has that goal, at least to travel once a year. I mean, at the least, but I can't speak for other people. I just got to focus on my own development, my own education. And so I'm going to focus on talking to as many people as possible and listening to as many people as possible, and then sharing whatever stories I can through my experience, if I have any experience that relates to, well, whatever we're talking about. And sometimes, it's hit and miss. When I went to Vietnam, it was a little more difficult to find people to have like a true and good, honest conversation about something that matters. A few times I felt like I got the tourist version of a story, and that's fine. But then I remember talking to a group of young people who were all gathered at this cafe for some sort of event thing. It was like a weekly event, but they were really curious about speaking English. And I was all telling them, kind of like the truth. And there was this one dude that spoke Japanese, and it was funny because he was like, oh, I like anime or whatever. I was like, yeah, I don't, but I can talk to you in Japanese. And he spoke Japanese back to me. It was great because, it's interesting to hear what people are interested in, right? And so for me to go out there and talk to people was amazing. And I hope that they had an amazing time too, learning from me, because, I was telling them I do YouTube, and they were kind of like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, anybody could do YouTube, and you should do it too, because you guys want to promote maybe the local like tourism or whatever, and like if you're going to do it, you should, start a channel. And they were kind of listening, and like sharing knowledge is a really good thing if you have something to share. But if you don't have anything to share, then you get out there and you just listen to some stories, and maybe eventually you will have something to share. So Gonzalez Gonzalez 英語わかんないけど、かっこいいです。英語を理解できるようになりたいですね。So, ありがとうございますね、コメント。何か質問があればどうぞね。だって、これから俺日本語で話しても意味ないよね。英語で理解しないといけない。だって、留学した時、もう日本語モードしかないっていう、ちょっと設定しないといけないね。それで何か分かんなかったら、いや、本当に困ったら、先生、I don't understand, what do you mean? ね、みたいな感じだったんだけど、どんどんね、いろいろ慣れてから、じゃあ分かんないとき、こういうふうに確認するって感じです。何か分かんない単語があればね、それどういう意味ですかとか、なんでみたいな質問のやり方、マスターしないといけないんですね。でもそのマスター、質問のやり方のマスターって何今、だから質問、どうやって聞く、どうやって、理解できるかって感じですね。質問のパターンって感じですね。それを学ばないといけないんですけれども。はい。で、おしゃべりがけです。はい、ありがとう。で、急にネイティブ日本語で、すみません。そういう、モードって感じですね。マナーモードって感じで、日本語で話しちゃうと、日本語モードですね。で、英語にすると、英語モードね。その中途半端のあれが好きじゃないですね。だって、例えば、キッチンの中にある冷蔵庫あるじゃないですか。でもいきなりレフリジレーターとか言うと、聞き取りにくいですね。だから、リフリジャレーターみたいなカタカナ英語にしないといけないのが分かってるよね。ね。ほとんどの外人は多分レフリジレーターとか言っちゃうと思うんですけれども、俺、ちゃんとカタカナ英語のルールを守るタイプですね、俺。ね。だから日本語は日本語。で、英語は英語。これがないって感じですね。特に英語で考えるとね、いきなりそう、いきなり日本語で話しちゃうと、通じないよ。ね。この間友達と喋ってて、YouTube の編集が大変ですね。でも英語で言ってったのね。で、編集に関して、日本語みたいな動画作ってるから、編集、頭の中に編集みたいな単語がいっぱい響いてるんですけれども、友達と話しちゃって、編集って言っちゃったんだよね。英語で話してたのに。で、彼、びっくりっていうか、自分がびっくりしましたよね。編集って言っちゃって。だから、エディティングそうだよね。英語は英語、日本語は日本語、そのコードスイッチングみたいな中途半端の考え方は良くないよね。正直に。だから、ちょっとジムって感じで、英語だけにして、じゃあ、英語だけ。てか、日本語がないっていう状態できますかね。で、難しいんですね。だっていきなり頭ぶつけたらさ、いてとか言っちゃうんだよね。で、俺も逆だったんだよね。だってあれ、ドアとかさ、玄関はどうだろうね。でも、家のドアとか学校のあれ、ドアの、なんていうあれ、低いんじゃない？で、よくぶつけたんだよね。で、最初、もう、ow! fuck! って言っちゃったんだね。でも日本語モードになってるから、いてって言わないといけないなって気がついて、ちょっと練習しました。いて。いて。で、結局、ドアに頭ぶつけ ってこいてって自動に出てきたんだよね。だからこういうふうに練習しないといけないですね。本当に、まあ、日本語モード、英語モードみたいな感じで、じゃあ、なんかわかんない瞬間に、What's that mean? みたいなリアクションを作んないといけないですね。で、それはまあ、日本語でやっても意味ないから、まあ、英語のリアクションってものすごい大事だから、でも結局何に関してリアクションしてるかって、もう絵はないんだよね。なんか動画を見てるだけって感じで、もうリスニングだけって感じ。で、まあチャットでまあコミュニケーション取れてるんですけれども、これ会話ではないんだよね。だから一応まあ聞いてね。でも結局いつかね、まあ英語を使わないといけないからね。So、まあ、日本語、ちょっと待ってね。なんか、漢字を読むのが遅いから、許してください。単語面白いですね。じゃあ、言葉、面白いですね。日本語で変わると、雰囲気、日本人、まあ、でも自分らしく、日本語でも英語でもね、自分の、なんだろう、考え方をシェアできればね、ナンバーワンと思うんですけれどもね、やっぱり日本語になっちゃうとちょっとマナーが変わるからさ、英語だってオレオレみたいな、違うか。はい。まあ自分らしく、英語で話しましょうって感じですね。一つで英語について質問して、まあどうぞ。So again, you just kind of gotta switch the mode and get into English. And you are typing, so it's just typing. So it's not like you're actually speaking. But at least if you're thinking in English as you type, because that's how I type. And I'll be totally honest about typing. I can't. I do this and I look at the keyboard and I'm talking to myself as I type. So it's like, hey, everybody. I'm literally hearing my voice as I'm typing and I can't spell. Like I literally can't spell restaurant. I can't spell necessary. These are I'm so audio when I type that without autocorrect, I'd be screwed. And a lot of Americans are because the truth is English is a sound in our head that echoes and that you don't need. Like you literally don't need. I just saw this movie with Churchill or something, the guy from Great Britain, World War II. And he couldn't type. He would just talk. And then a secretary would type what he said. Because you don't need to read and write in order to speak. You can speak and never read and write. And then you learn reading and writing is a skill on top of speaking. So, this is like the big thing that Japanese people totally miss is they start with reading and writing. They start with the skill that you don't need, and then they just totally skip the skill that you actually need, which is, well, mimicking native speakers, just like a native speaker would. It's kind of like a chain of dominoes, you know what I mean? Like it's like native speaker speaks to native speaker then starts to mimic native speaker who starts speaking like a native speaker, then the next speaker, you know what I mean? But it's like Japanese people don't jump into the chain because they're not listening to native speakers. They're reading and writing in textbooks and stuff, So it's really about getting on the right bandwidth of instead of light information, it's audio information that you got to clue your brain into. And that is literally a different part of your brain. You know what I mean? You have like the visual cortex and you have this like audio processing part right there. And they're different parts. It's like one arm versus the other arm. And if you don't focus on the right part, you're just not going to get better. And so it's when I talk like this, most people are like, I don't understand. And I'm like, well, anybody that speaks English probably understands what I'm saying, besides the whole jumping around and going off rabbit trails part. But like otherwise, what I'm saying, what I'm uttering isn't complicated to anybody that actually speaks English. It's like my accent and whatnot, but most people understand California accent, you know what I'm saying? So, 学生の時に先生にネイティブの、方にファックじゃなくてファックね。絶対、 絶対に、言ってはいけない日本語にで行きたい言葉ってまさ、それは、what the fuck does he know? Your teacher, you know, like you can totally use it. My Spanish teacher in high school, he taught me that saying a bad word at the right time is okay. Like sometimes you really need to use a bad word. So yeah, no, like you can use fuck as much as you want, and like most Americans use it. So it's like if you're like in junior high school, you probably shouldn't. But by the time you're in high school, everybody says fuck. Most people. And to be honest, it would be like only the Christians don't, you know, like, oh, you can't say bad words. God will get mad at you. So it's like, okay, sure, whatever. I mean, maybe not. But yeah, you just got to be mindful. Like in a classroom session, you know, like in a classroom, you shouldn't say it, right? But outside of class, you know, like if you're talking to friends, like of course you can. And especially if your friends say the bad word, then it's almost kind of like you have the green light to say a bad word. So yeah, don't listen to teachers. Never. Like never. Like, I mean, you listen to a teacher with like a grain of salt, but then you go out in reality and then you confirm, you know, if it's true or not. And, you know, that was the big problem when I was in college, like my Japanese teachers, because I took Japanese in college, but I already spoke Japanese because I learned Japanese in high school. So like I was just in college for the free A. Anyway, I would always fuck around with like the teacher because like I was teaching my classmates Kansai Ben, and my teacher would get mad at me. And I was like, why you get mad? Like, I'm just telling them reality. But whatever, like teachers have these rules that I don't think really exist outside of a classroom anyway. So, you know, like, what are you going to do, right? で、聞き取りやすい英語で、感動? Okay. So, wait, hold on. My monitor is a little dark. Why does it go dark? I have to like, no, I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll do this. This will lighten it up a little bit. Anyway, oh, you guys want to see my spaceship? Here, let's go into my spaceship. I'm reality recently has been kind of like getting really stupid. And so whenever I'm in my spaceship, I don't feel, you know, the pressures of Earth, you know, 0G. Know what I'm saying? Sup, Meteor Nokia. Everybody's got such interesting names, but what's up? My English teacher doesn't allow us to say wanna or gonna. Well, your English teacher is a dork. Tell him. Like, literally. Because, like, everybody on the fucking planet that speaks English says wanna or gonna. So, like, literally, I hate teachers that enforce these stupid rules that only exist in classrooms. And literally show them a clip of this video. It's like, like literally, as a teacher, what do you want to do? What are you trying to do when you create this rule that says, hey, don't mimic native speakers? You know what I mean? Like, literally everybody that speaks English, like as a native person, uses wanna or gonna, or some variation of it. And as a teacher, you're saying, don't listen to reality, listen to me in this book. It's fucking stupid, and it will literally prevent you from mimicking what's actually being uttered by real people. Like, that is the kind of advice that is holding the entire nation of Japan back. So, and this is why I have started a YouTube channel, right? Because I had like a job teaching at like the English schools, right? And I remember one, GABA, and we were like Oh yeah, I got hired to do like this audio textbook. And so like I went into the recording studio, had the mic, and I was like reading the script. And like it was like the beginning lesson, and they were all like, I was all trying to talk normal, and they were all like, can you like talk slower? And I'm like, but nobody talks like that. And they were like, just read the script. And I was like, right. Yeah, okay. I mean, they were paying my bill, right? Or paying my salary. So whatever. But like, this is kind of why I wanted to do YouTube, because I could actually tell you guys the truth. No, yeah, no. You're in Canada, but even in Japan, the teachers have that like stupid rule in their head, like don't say wanna, gotta, or whatever. But even in Canada, I know like the people that teach English as a second language don't know what they're doing. Like, first of all, well, actually, Meteor Nokia, does your teacher speak two languages? Yes or no? I'm just curious, just as a kind of way to filter, because I found that a lot of monolingual English teachers, they don't know how to teach because they've never learned a second language. Duh. So, もう日曜日か。Andy, そうですね。For me, it's Saturday, and I spent not all day. I spend my mornings doing nothing but drinking coffee and trying to meditate. But this afternoon, I was working on the next video, and so I've been sitting here in the computer. Although the temperature, I just like to share this with everybody. It was like 25 degrees today. Yeah, California is cooking, and it's nice. Well, there you go. Meteor Nokia. So listen to this. You're learning a second language, correct? So you want to learn how to learn a second language, right? So if your teacher doesn't know a second language, how would they know how to learn a second language? Literally. They have no idea how to learn a second language because they never learned a second language. So how can you teach somebody to learn a second language if you've never learned a second language? I mean, it's so obvious, yet so many people don't get it. They're like, oh, I could just read a textbook and this is a verb and this is a noun and now you know English. But yeah, how do you learn it? How do you use it, right? And only somebody that actually learned could actually tell you. And I think that's why so many Japanese people watch Japanese YouTubers explain English, because it's like, oh, you obviously, Japanese face, right? You learned English. It's obvious. I can tell. So how'd you do it? They want to know how, not what. This is a pen. Nobody fucking cares what a pen is. We all know that, right? But how'd you learn it? That's the only question. And if a teacher has not learned a second language, they can't teach you how to learn a second language. So literally every single teacher who teaches English, who doesn't know how to speak a second language, is not qualified, no matter what degree they have. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if they went to college or they have some like TOEIC score or whatever, or like a TOEIC certificate or whatever. A TESOL, that's what they called it. Because I went to grad school for like a minute and like I dropped out because like I realized it's a bunch of BS, because like the real world experience that I had wasn't meshing up with those classrooms and those textbooks, because that's not how anybody learns. Not like really, not like fundamentally, you'll learn verbs and grammar and stuff, but how do you use it? You learn that like outside during lunchtime, in the gym, riding your bike through, I just remembered Mishima Dori, but anyway, don't want to go too far down into the rabbit hole of memories there, because like I have a lot of experience learning Japanese in the real world, and that's why I can turn around and look at somebody who says they're a teacher and it's like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Get out of here. Seriously. Clip all of that. Send them this entire clip, and like maybe your teacher's going to rethink their life and choose a better career, or maybe take a second to learn a second language fluently enough to be empathetic with their students so they know, oh, everything I was teaching was bullshit. Anyway, 英語のかなが、あれが読めないよね。 割られていくなんとか割られていく感じゃじゃじゃがあります。Wow. Either my eyes are going bad or the kanji is kind of like, oh, wait, hold on. You know what? But because like in this day and age, right? Like, これ本当の会話だったらさ、俺漢字あんまり読める漢字読めるけど、読めない漢字読めないって感じで、なんか会話だったらさ、問題ないよね。日本語聞いて理解できるからさ。でもなんか漢字が、なんかあれだけが読めなくて、なんだろうって感じですね。ちょっと困りますよね。毎日日曜日に、指示されてるんですかね。まあ、I try to ね。僕の土曜日なんですけれども、日曜日の朝、こうやってライブストリームやってますね。とりあえずね。日本行ってから、もっとやりたいと思うんだよね。ライブストリームをね。でも、時間ずれてるから、ね。だって、日本の朝だよね。日曜日の朝だよね。なんか夕方の方がいいんじゃない？だって、俺の YouTube のオーディエンス初心者なんだっけ初心者じゃない。オーディエンスもう、see? Even I need to like do my own lesson. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to remind everybody because if you really want to like get better at learning a language, you got to pay attention to my 3 steps. I only have 3, and that's all you need because I'm not going to teach you English. I'm going to teach you how to learn English, and I'm going to give you a tool to help you, but I'm not going to teach you because I'm not your teacher. 先輩です。kai senpaiですね。kai sensei じゃなくてkai senpaiですね。So I just want to share my experience in learning a second language so you guys can learn how you can learn a second language, right? So the first thing, well, okay, before we get that, I already got to the point where I'm nearly as fluent as the native speakers. My complaint is even though the Japanese English content creator haven't become fluent, they teach, yeah. No, that's my kind of like, what the fuck, right? Because it would be the same as me teaching Japanese, which makes 0 sense, you know? Like literally makes 0 sense. Like I cannot comprehend why an American white guy would teach Japanese just because you learned it. You know what I mean? It's like the best I could do to teach Japanese would be like, well, exactly what I'm going to tell you now. This would be my only lesson if you wanted to learn Japanese. So if you want to learn Japanese, focus on accent. If you want to learn English, focus on accent. It's the same thing. Second language. It doesn't matter. So the teachers give you the books. They give you the letters, ABC, and you're already on the wrong path because you're looking. And if you're looking, you're doing it wrong. It's that simple. You got to be listening. And you got to be listening to native speakers, not robots. I cannot believe everybody is like, ooh, getting boners for AI chatbots. You know what I mean? Like, I do not get it. You're not learning anything if you don't learn the sounds. And you're not learning the sounds because like you're going to watch the video of the next video that I release and there's 10 actors or whatever, and you're going to hear it. You're just going to hear the people that actually listen, and then you're going to hear the people that don't listen. It's that simple. And I don't get it. I just don't get it. But like whatever, you have to focus on accent because nobody speaks like a robot. And nobody speaks official English. So, like, what are you doing? You know? And you're listening to teachers that don't know any better because they never learned a second language. So it becomes this, like, circle jerk of, like, misinformation. And it's horrible, you know? So, anyway, we got to focus first and foremost on learning an accent. All right? Gonzalez. すみません。作られた。作られたんですね。で、たくさんって読むんですか？ たくさん、多い感謝って感じです。なんか、多いって読める。だから、多い読めるよ。で、感謝の感謝みたいな感じですね。だから、なんとなく意味わかるって感じ。ね。ありがとう。いや、でも漢字面白いよね。だって、読める漢字があるんだけど、言えない。ね。だって、多い感謝って違うか。はい。だから、本当に、ありがとうね。So, anyway, you gotta focus on accent. You gotta focus on what people are actually saying. And so, one of the things that I teach, if you look at the video, and you guys should be able to see the video, it's in the notes. Well, I guess I can come over here really quick and pick it out for you. Just because, it's really important. But like, if you wanted to learn English, you basically just choose one of the big accents that everybody speaks with. And so, what are those accents? Well, guess what? You don't know because your teacher's stupid. I mean, I don't mean that like that, but your teacher's ignorant. So anyway, so pick one of the accents, right? That's how you do it. Watch that video. It talks about that in more detail, but you got to pick an accent, right? And so obviously, like totally obviously, I'm speaking with the California accent, which is an American accent, and it just happens to be the most spoken accent. So if you want to learn it, like, then you listen to people that speak with that accent, right? So, I mean, that really is it in a nutshell. So the next thing that really you need to do is to talk to 1,000 people, not a teacher. Like, literally. So, man, there's such a delay on this stream. Sorry, guys. But, see, 漢字は難しいですね。ひらがな書いてくれてありがとうね。そうやって、そうだよね。漢字読めないって言っちゃうと、だから、その読める漢字をカタカナにして、it's okay. 間違いないね。ひらがなの方がわかりやすいんだけどね。So anyway, once you choose an accent, for example, California accent, then you talk to 1,000 people that have the California accent. And that's it. You mimic it. That's all you got to do. You just got to mimic that. And how do you mimic? You don't like read and write it. You listen and then you mimic it. And then you mimic it. And that's it. You got to mimic it. You must mimic it. No, you gotta, and you gotta. Like, you have to. That's all you gotta do is mimic the sounds that like 1,000 people make. And of course, you're going to hear differences in the 1,000. You're going to hear the difference in 10 people. But after a while, you're going to hear these patterns, such as gonna and wanna, that everybody uses no matter what part of the country they're from. So, but you'll figure that out. I don't need to explain nothing to you. You know what I mean? Like, if you get out there and you talk to 10, 20, 30, 40 people, you're going to finally start hearing that everybody says fuck, everybody says gonna, everybody says wanna. So why the fuck would I listen to a teacher that doesn't help you in reality? I mean, where else do you want to speak English, right? Like in a classroom or watching the news or reading a book? I thought, everybody's goal was to speak English. Well, this is how you do it right here. You focus on an accent and then you talk to 1,000 people. And the cool thing is, it's like, 1,000 people. Well, yeah, that gives you 3 years of stuff to look forward to. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to talk to 1,000 people today or this week or this month, and that's okay. You have like next month and then next month and then next month. I mean, you have a whole life to master this second language thing. So get excited about it, right? Like, you're only at 400 people. Great. You have 600 more to go. Get out there, keep talking to people. And then at a certain point, like, you'll have like a better self-introduction. You'll have more things to talk about because it's like, oh yeah, I keep noticing that, for example, a lot of Americans might like comedy, right? So it's like, maybe I should learn English from famous comedians, right? Like the classics like Eddie Murphy back in the day, or somebody like Seinfeld, more like an East Coast accent. But then like you'll start to hear it if you just get out there and listen to people. But, you know, do any of the other teachers recommend this? So no wonder everybody's struggling, you know? Like the only way, the only path is what I'm saying. And I mean it only. I mean, you can like learn letters and stuff and you'll have some sort of proficiency, but it's not like going to be useful. It's going to be, this is what it's hard to say this because I don't mean to be a dick, but like thick accents are hard to understand. And I'm used to the katakana accent, so it's not a problem for me. But I know most Americans really do have a problem if you say stadium, tema, coffee, hot coffee. It does not translate. It does not go into their ears because that's not how you say coffee. You say coffee by saying coffee. 発音悪いっていう意味がない。単語間違っとるっていう意味ですね。1プラス1イコール3って感じで、いや、ブブー数学だったらさ、なんで言語では、なんか、まあいいよ。計算緩くても、it's like, 大丈夫。Wait, what? No, it's wrong. That's not how you say it. Like, if you say, instead of walk, you say woke, it means woke. It doesn't mean walk. And this is just simple. だって、うんこパン食べるか？You made a mistake, and that's okay. You just gotta learn. Learning is okay. Learning the correct way to say it is okay. It's not a problem to learn the word. And so, you know, a lot of people think I'm like making fun of people. I'm like, no, I'm literally teaching English. I'm using celebrities because they're rich and famous, so who cares? You know, like they can take a little what do you call it? Lesson? Because that's what it is. It's not criticism. It's like literally, like in the video coming up, the guy, I mean, he has good English, but he says, you know, when you walk out of a theater, and it's like, well, it's not woke, it's walk. You know, teaching English. Thought you guys wanted to learn English. 違うか. So, yeah, sorry I'm being so brutal. English にも方言。イントネーション。まあ方言ってイントネーションだけじゃないんだけどね。でも、yeah, no, like, here, let's do it, cause, これか。Then I should. It's like, this map is like, I should always have this map, out. なんでこれ hold on. I'm gonna show you this map. All right. And this isn't even like all of America. This is just one section ね。これなんだろうね。なんだろう。関西って感じで、関西の中でもいろいろあるんじゃない？兵庫弁と京都弁は違うでしょ？大阪弁とまた違うでしょ？で、アメリカの中でもいろいろあります。で、俺にはね、俺だってカリフォルニアの育ちだから、この地図を見ると、は？って感じですね。こんな種類あるんですかって感じ。ね。So, take a look at it. I mean, it's pretty crazy, but like, this is just the South, right? There's actually more variations across, you know, the United States, but this is just the South. And I don't know the difference. Maybe I can hear the difference between Texas and Georgia. Maybe. But like Georgia, Tennessee, I'd be like, I don't know. So yeah, no, there's so many different ways to talk. and you guys don't know any of it. Like, any of it. Which is not good. Like, seriously. Like, it feels sometimes like I'm the only one saying this stuff. And then, I look at, like, how many people watch the live stream, and it's like, well, at least you guys know now, right? But, no, call it misinformation if you will, but, like, the English teaching establishment is not teaching you guys the truth at all. So that's kind of why I'm up here letting you guys know the truth. And the truth is, there's like 十人十色って感じ。本当にいろんな喋り方がありますね。それでも自分の訛りしかわかんないよ。ほとんどの人間もそうじゃん。ニューヨークの人は全然カリフォルニア英語使わないよ。自分の訛りで話しちゃう。それでお互いアメリカ人でお互いの訛り慣れてるから会話できるんだけど、イギリス人と話しちゃうと理解できない時結構ありますよ。しょうがない。標準語の英語がない。だから、教科書の英語が意味ない。だってそういう硬い英語で話す人いないから。みんななまっとるから。1000人と話せばわかるよ。先生じゃなくて。そう、だから俺が英語教えないよ。1000人と話して、その1000人から学んでください。それで、次のステップは、普通に会話して、ね。で、何かわかんない単語やフレーズがあればね、自分の単語帳に書いてください。自分の教科書を作ってください。で、何のレッスンみたいなね。いや、わからないとき、なんかわかんないって気がついた瞬間にメモ帳。これ言いたかったけど、言い方がわかんなかったから、なんて言うんですかね。で、メモ帳、現実に出て1000人と話して、なんかわかんない時があった瞬間にメモ帳に書いといて、家に戻って、なんか夕方とかさ、一人で、復習してください。その時、なんか先輩みたいな人、友達みたいな人、お父さんみたいな人、お兄さんみたいな人、ちょっと、なんていうこれ、ね、そういう風になんか先生使ってもいいと思う。ね。本当に。で、週1回の先生は大丈夫だけど、もしちゃんと1000人と話してたらね、現実でちゃんと経験してたら、先生と話してもいいと思うよ。でも単語帳作ってくださいね。本当に本当に。単語帳がないと、なんか自分の失敗から学べないよ。だって失敗しないと上達しないって感じですね。なんだろうね。なんか進化って感じ？違うか。So, yeah, like, exactly. So, yeah, like everybody has an accent. Literally everybody. Everybody. Millions of people. So then, アンリさん、イギリスの BBC のニュースの英語を聞くと、BBC は大丈夫。BBC はニュースだから、はっきりなんか発表していますみたいなね。それは問題ない。ほとんど。大体。ね。でも、スコットランドとかアイルランドとかさ、イギリスの田舎でもね、ちょっと、って感じですね。ウェールズとかさ。だから結構、なんていう一般人って感じ、普通の人の訛りが、訛りによるんだけど、BBC のあれは、そうだね。イギリスの中では、標準語的な、訛りがあるんだけど、ボンボンって感じ？イリットって感じ？イギリスの中ではね、ほとんどのアメリカ人がそういう、区別できない。イリートの訛りで話しても、イギリス人だね、みたいな。もう、アメリカ人、結構アホやからね、ほとんどのアメリカ人だからさ。そう。だって自分の訛りしかわかんないって感じ。で、自分の国から出てない人は、もう何もわかんないから、 いいんじゃない？俺だって田舎の方に留学したから、結構、ジャパンって感じじゃない？なんか日本って感じですね。で、舞鶴の人たちは、あんまり舞鶴が出たことないって感じで、俺のホスト父さんのお母さんもね、東京1回しか行ったことないって、ディズニーランド行って結婚してから。だからね、ほとんどの人は普通に考えると、あんまり実家から出ないんじゃない？それかなんか、舞鶴のクラスメートがみんな京都とか大阪行くって感じやけど、でも遠く行かないよね。ほとんどの人間は。だから、経験がない。ね。だからこれから君は何を経験したいか。ね。日本から、英語を喋りたいなって。じゃあ、日本に来てる外人はどういう人ですか？俺、いろんな外人と話したことあるから、ちょっとわかるよ。いろいろあるよ。でも自分の名前を作んないと、育たないといけないから、一つだけ選んでください。すべて勉強するべきない。すべて勉強するわけない。時間かかるから。あらららら。カイ先輩はアメリカでジャパニーズインタープレーやったことない。あれ、地震の後ね、そう言えばね、BBC みたいな、会社のニュースの通訳者だったんだよね。3月の11日の後に、俺、東北行ってきました。で、テレビ局、イギリスのテレビ局の、通訳者だったんだよね。日本語から英語にして、で、俺は発表しなかったよね、そのニュースで、ニュースマンが、発表したんだけど、彼のために通訳しました。ね。It's the only time that I've ever really interpreted. So it was so embarrassing because like one guy, he kept talking about, なんだっけ、ホシャノ And I was like, what are you talking about? あれ何? And then he said something like, it was like fission or something like that, or nuclear or something like that. And I was like, oh, yeah. We don't talk about that on a daily basis, do we? So, my Japanese is good enough for daily conversation, but if you want to start talking about nuclear energy, I was kind of like, oh, yeah, I'm not qualified for this, but I got through it. Like, no, it was fine, but I would never translate professionally. I'm not good enough. で、ゴンザーレス says 日本語的に行くと、関西弁と関東弁が、残されてる感じですね。Well, in Japanese, right? But hold on. See, this is what I say. It's always just one kanji. But this is why I created a dictionary. I swear to God, the only book that you need is a dictionary. Genius no dictionary, ne? Mixed. Right, yeah, it's mixed up. So I knew it was something like that. So anyway, yeah. English is just as rich and colorful as Japanese, So, experience it, 結構アホ。Yeah, what are you gonna do? 舞鶴、京都ですね。そう。でも、舞鶴弁と京都弁は違いありますね。そう、海先輩、金閣寺とかね、水寺教育、もちろん、そういう大きいの、もちろんありますね。舞鶴から一人で汽車乗って、たまに、友達とホストファミリーと行ったことあるし、でも一人でね、行ったんだよね。 そうね。なんか、いや、自分で行く、みたいな、なんか自信ありますから、みたいなね。そういう、まあ、一人で行きたいっていう時があったんだよね。で、金閣寺で、抹茶一人で飲んで、なんか、楽しかった。バスの乗り換えとかさ。ガンザレス。京都の方は、京都内に、いる方が多い。京都内にいることが、Yeah、そうだね。Like, yeah, well, まあだからアメリカでもそうだけどね。なんか、nobody leaves their hometown, really, if you really think about it. So, but that's just part of the experience. And what kind of experience do you want to have? Do you want to be traveling or do you want to be hosting people? That's kind of like the two major things that you can do. You can be the traveler or you can be the host. And if you're going to be the host, well, then you got to invite people. But, how are you going to do that? That's a whole separate subject. So it just depends on what your path is. And once you have the path, it doesn't change. Focus on accent, talk to 1,000 people, and then every single mistake, just write a note in your flashcard book. And pretty soon, after you talk to like 1,000 people, you'll notice that you don't use your flashcard book as often because you keep using the same words. If you really think about it, everybody says the same thing over and over and over and over again, like, so what are you going to do today? Well, I'm going to go to work. Then I'm going to stop by the cafe. Then I'm going to go to the gym. Then, what are you going to get at the cafe? Well, I'm going to get a coffee. I'm going to get a pastry. I mean, what else are you going to get? Like naan and like keema, like, you know what I mean? Like, unless you go to an Indian restaurant, so like, okay, now we've got more vocabulary words, that you got to start learning. Because after a while, you start to learn like palak paneer and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, like if you use the same words over and over again, pretty soon you're going to master them, and you only need like 500. Like it's not that complicated. So, Kyle Metcalf っていうアメリカ人のクリエイターいるんだけど、Metcalf。いや、あんまり聞いたことないよ。Metcalf って。なんか、なんだろうね。アメリカンフットボールの選手が Metcalf言ったかもしれないんだけど、Metcalf ってあんまり会ったことないんですね。はい。珍しい。カイルの名前は結構あるんだけどね。でも、Metcalf は、珍しいですね。と思うよ。まあ、カリフォルニアではあんまり会ったことない。ね。Oh, Chris Metcalf. There was this guy I knew in high school. So that's why it wasn't football. It was some guy I knew. He was basketball. We played basketball together. That's why. Anyway, so でもカイル・メッカフって知らない。誰だろうね。他のカエルがいるか。面白い。So, anyway, 俺のカイ先輩です。だってカエルって言える日本人がいないから、いいよ、カイで。アメリカで popular last name 何 popular? まあ、ガンザレスが多いよ。本当に。テキサスには。でもなんか popular って多いということだよね。like Smith, Johnson そういう名前ね。なんか son、S-O-N で終わる単語なんか、how do you say? Like, suffix, prefix. Anyway, when the word ends in son, that's kind of like 多いってことね。一般人って感じですね。But, yeah, anything that ends with the sun. But then all of the names, well, and they would be similar in England or Australia too, I think. But it's really hard. Once you start like talking to people, maybe I should go through my Instagram. Because like on Instagram, like I have all the people that I've met, that I've followed, not all of them, but like all the people that I've kind of had friendships or some sort of like even acquaintance kind of feeling. Like I have all their names. It would be interesting to see what's like the most common kind of name, but you can't ask me because I think I have enough of a variety of like friends and acquaintances that it's not going to be just typical Americans, if you know what I mean. Because in California, we have a lot of different people from different countries. And so you're not just going to get like American names, you're going to get a wide variety. Like one guy I know, his last name is De La Roca, so, there's a lot of interesting names out there for sure. So I don't know if it's popular or not, but there's a lot of interesting ones for sure. Yeah, Germany apparently, but like I saw a map and it was like all the Germans are like in the middle of America. Here, I'll look it up for you. So hold on. American ancestor map. We'll figure it out. Whoa. Yeah, like, oh, which one? We can do this, I guess. Well, yeah, you guys can read that, right? Okay, hold on. I'll get it over to you. Let me get the ad out of the way. There you go. So look at this map. This is going to be an interesting map for most of you because you probably don't think about it. But yeah, see, I'm from California. So like the whole Mexican thing is absolutely normal to me. But if you look at a lot of the map, I guess a lot of people have like a German ancestry, I guess. So like, yeah. But as you can see, depending on the state, a lot of people have different ancestry. So yeah, it really depends. You guys really gotta, understand this, that it's kind of like there's a lot of different kinds of Americans. And so when you say something like an American, it just doesn't really mean anything. It's like, well, in California, we kind of have this kind of history. But yeah, if you go to Minnesota, it's going to be different, totally different. And they talk differently too. So yeah, and if you look at it, it's like, well, there's not a lot of people that live in those states though. Like, I'm pretty sure if you took California's population and Texas population, it would be more than half the map, So I'm not exactly sure the numbers, but yeah, that's pretty interesting, right? It looks like a lot, but Kansas, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, nobody lives there. So it's like, whoa, everybody with a German last name. Yes, yeah, but there's only like 2 people there, so 多いというか. But yeah, my last name is Gibson, so that sounds English to me. So yeah, and there's a lot of English, I guess, but not as much as the others, I guess, So yeah, go figure. で、タイトル、自分を育つではなく、自分を育ってる。わあ、日本語のレッスン、ありがとう。俺、書いとくわ。まあ、今書いとこうか。だって、書いとかないと。Hold on. ではなく、自分を育ってるって。あ、wait. でもそれ、あれじゃん。The, thumbnail でしょ？サムネでしょ？じゃあ、今度ね、やり直す。すいません。German 多いね。はい。で、well, yeah, Gibson. Sin, it sounds ソーンって言わないよね。ギブソンって。訛りね。そう。だからまあ、yeah, pick a state because the culture is going to be different, right? Like this Irish, like I saw like in Massachusetts, I think there's like a Irish kind of like population there, I guess, but 行ったことないから分かんないもんね。何が違うかってなんだろうね、分かんないよね。行かないと分かんないもんね。でやっぱり俺アリゾナ、ニューメキシコ、ヒュータはね結構白いから、ね、白人が多いって感じだからそれはびっくりしない。アイダホもそうだよね。でもドイツって言っても白いだからさ。でもそのテネシー面白いよね。もうずっとアメリカにいるって感じだよね。はいはいはい。でやっぱりニューヨークで、100年前イタリア人がいっぱい来たからさ、すごいよねアメリカって。海外はアイラン行ったことないんだね。そう、まだ行ったことない。行きたいんだけどね。俺の友達去年行ってきたんだよね。でも結構つまんないって言ってたけどね。食べ物美味しくないし、ビールは美味しいって言ってたんだけどね。でも天気が良くないって言ってたからさ、なんだろうね。でも行きたい。一回ぐらい行ってみたいと思うんだよね。で行けたら動画を作りたい。でもまず今の動画作ってるから海外で撮影って有名って感じだからいつか行きたいと思うんだけどね。はいはいはい。アイルランドだって面白い。みんな白人だけどもともと英語じゃなかったよね。その国みんなアイルランド語喋ってたらしいよね。で、そのムカつくのイギリス人がインベード、なんていうインベードして、アイルランド語の、ルーツが消えてしまったって感じね。消えられたなんていうね。anyway, あんまり面白くないんだ。Yeah. Well, like the food thing, like when you go on a vacation, like when I went to like Thailand, like the food was like, oh boy, what are we going to eat today? Like there's so many different things. And so you get all excited, right? But like the food in Ireland and England is just apparently so boring. I don't know, because like there's so much good food in California as well that I don't understand how a country could have, and Japan has so many good restaurants, right? So I don't understand how a country could have so much boring food. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. You gotta go for yourself. But so yeah, not excited about the food aspect, but just excited to talk to people and like hear some funny accents. You know what I mean?あらあらあら。なんとか週アートブックを読むために英語を学びましたが、回線は話すことを理解して目標、はい。よかったね。そうだ、本とかさ、勉強になるんやけどね。でも結局、直接、アーティストからお話聞きたくないって感じ？わかんないけど、その会話の方が面白いと思うんだけどね。だから人間関係的に、会話しましょうね。で、そうしたらこれに戻るんだけど、この3ステップ学習法毎日やってください。本当に毎日やらないといけないんだけどね。留学した時、こういう風に勉強してたから、今ペラペラになってるんだけど、違うか。結構喋れるようになったと思うんだけどね。ネイティブではないんだけどね。でも喋れる、喋れない、喋れる。 でしょう。そう。日本も多分外国人にとってあんまり面白くない国なのかな。A lot of foreigners love Japan. Like, a lot. で、トゥーリストスポット結構あるから日本では。まあみんな同じところ行っちゃうんだけど、でもそういう、もう、だって、清水寺みたいなところ、ないよ、アメリカでは。そんな文化がないよ。そんな街がないよ、京都って。まあ東京でもね、アメリカにはないよ。そういう地下鉄だらけの、なんか渋谷スクランブルみたいな、ニューヨークだってもう、なんかタイムスクエアみたいな、ちっちゃいよ。ね。ほとんどの人がそういうところに住んでない。ニューヨークの近所の方行くと、普通に近所って感じ。まあ普通ではないんだけどね。アメリカの違う街と比べたらね。でも、いや、タイムスクエアみたいなところ珍しいよ。でも渋谷スクランブルみたいな感じいっぱいあるんじゃない？なんか新宿でも、ね、池袋でも、ね。まあ大阪でもね、なんかあれじゃない？なんだっけ、なんだっけな、忘れた。アメリカ村の近くの、あれ、なんかいっぱい人歩いてる、なんかアーケードの下にあるじゃん。それ、もう日本らしくって、すごいよ。まあ、韓国行ったら、ちょっと似てるところがあるからね。でも、少ないよね。日本と比べたら。と思うよ。まあ、行ってみないとわかんないもんね。そう、感じです。会話の単語を、区切る違いが、会話を伝わらないとかのは、本当ですか？ Hold on. It's getting, I feel I feel the fatigue of, kanji. Kanji fatigue is real. 会話の fatigue って会話の疲れがないんだけど、漢字の疲れがある。ね。It's really, yeah. Like, 今みたいに、通じてなかったら、なんだろうね。でもその意味の違い、まあ通じてるかどうか、まずそれなのね。なんだろうね。この、ホットコーヒーくださいみたいなね、通じなくて、まあ人によるんだけど、はいってなっちゃうか、いや、勝手にラテとか出すか、通じてないから、まあラテって言ったんじゃない？ブラックティー。なんか俺の後輩がね、ブラックティーを頼んだら、ラテが出てきて、ね。で、と思うでしょ？だって、ラテって言ったじゃない？ブラックティーって言ったじゃない？でも、ブラックティーってはっきり発音しなかったから、まあ、ラテに聞こえるよ。ブラックティーって、ラテって、ね。そう、だからまあ、しっかりしないといけないよね。まあ、発音って。そう。で、確かにフラットに、見ると、京都みたいな文化が少ないですね。でも、奈良でも近いんだけど、そう、京都ではないんだけど、でも奈良でもすごいよ。公園が広いって感じで、しかも、しかいない。違うか。日本の観光客地も、もちろん好きだけど、ユーロップの方が World Heritage とか Humongous だから、 でもそれはなんだろうね。だって外国の観光客ってちょっと不思議。アメリカ人はね、外国あんまり行かないだって。だってアメリカ広いから。で、それヨーロッパ人から聞いた。ヨーロッパ人はお互いの国行くらしいね。イギリス人がスペイン行くって感じ。よく近いし。でも、アメリカ人はアメリカ行く。まあ、車でいろんなところ行けるし、もうアメリカ広いし、自分のハワイ行けるし、自分のアラスカ行けるし、もうなんだろうね。何でもある、アメリカって。だからなんだろうね。人によるよね。だから日本の世界観から見ると、外人がいっぱい来てるから、でも、あれ、ちゃんと区別しないと理解できないと思うよ。ヨーロッパ人なら考え方が違うと思う。アメリカ人だったらまた別だね。で、オーストラリア人は多分、南アジアとか多いんじゃない？アメリカ人より。そう、だから、外人、外国人っていうジャンルがちょっと不明。そうだね。だから、もっとその外国人、まあ日本に来ちゃうと外国人だけど、話してから、じゃあどっから来てるんですか？ヨーロッパ。そうですか。なんでここにしたんですかって。じゃあヨーロッパ人はこういうふうに答える。アメリカ人だったら、まあ、こういうパターンがあるよね。で、またオーストラリア人はまた違う。だってオーストラリア人は、俺のイメージって、スノーボードなんか北海道とか、なんだっけ、日系道なんだっけ。まあそういうところ行くらしいよね。違うか。でもそういうイメージがします。だから人による。外人というジャンルが広すぎて、あんまり何もなんないって。でもオーストラリア人って言われたら、なんかスノボーで行く人だよね。で、アメリカ人から、いや、でもカリフォルニア人が多いよね。そうだよね。はいはい。でもヨーロッパ人から、まあいろんなヨーロッパ人いるよね。イタリア人も会ったことあるし、ロシア人会ったことあるし、まあヨーロッパ人面白いよね。いっぱいいるから。いろんな喋り方、いろんな言語、ポーランドもいるし、ね、スペイン人いるでしょ？面白いよね。俺の、まあ結構ベストフレンドはロマニアから来まして、でも東京で知り合ったんだよね。そうそうそう、ニューヨークって面白いよ。でも、俺一回しか行ったことないから、なんか最近はどうですかね。新しい、メアになってから、まあ、ちょっと行ってみたいと思うんだよね。そうそうそうそう。結局、まあ、経験しないといけないですね。そう、しかいないね。でもそれは奈良って感じだね。なんか奈良のイメージね。まあ、ところによってイメージが変わるから、でも実際、まあ自分の目で経験しないとつまんない。なんか動画、そう、逆にね、俺、旅動画作ってみようかなと思ったんだけど、なんだろう。動画の撮影が大変だから、いや、もう自分の目で十分って感じだね。撮影ってもうめんどくさくて、もう見る、まあ写真ならいいんだけどね。でもいつかなんか旅動画作りたいと思うんだけどね。今度ね、まあ俺の京都の動画作ったんだけどね、いろんな外人と話して、まあ面白いかどうかわかんないけど、なんか撮影が楽しかった。ね。いろんな外人と話して、もうみんな京都、レストラン、お寺。まあ楽しかった。今度はね、俺もヨーロッパ行きたいし、まあニューヨークも行きたいし、アイルランドも行きたいし、まあスペインもね、まあ世界の、まあイランでも行きたかったんだけどね、まあ最近のあれって戦争が、まあ本当に嫌だけど、ね、今度行ってみたいよね。 若い先輩の旅、見てみたいですね。まあ、今度ね。そうだね。例えば、カナダで友達とオーバーランディングの、トヨタのトラックで、なんていう ?4x4 オフローディング山登りっていうか、車で山登って、田舎っていうか、もう人間が全くいないところ行って、すごいよ。人間がいないところ行ったことある？面白い。見たね。楽しかったよね。So I've never been to Korea. Do you think that more attractive, Japan or Korea if you travel? I think Japan, but I think that's only just because I speak Japanese, you know what I mean? So maybe if you speak Korean, it's better. Or because I met some Americans in Korea, and they were interested in Korean culture, like K-pop, for example. So, or fashion, they're interested in Korean fashion. So people that like Korean culture, So, and it's not bad or anything, the Korean culture, except everybody has the same haircut. But besides that, no, Korea was great. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I would stay more. I want to go to North Korea, but that's a separate story. Do you have any plans to release the Android version of the app? Yes, I have plans to do it. I just talked to the developer, but we also have a lot of plans to make the app better, like test your accent, for example. Maybe like take a photo, share a photo of the words you're learning. There's a bunch of stuff that we can do. More interactive, like a ton. There's a ton of stuff. It's just the only problem is that I don't know coding, so everything has to be like task by task, based by case by case, because paying for a programmer is a lot of money. So not a lot, but it's enough. So it's like I have to do, because I don't know if you guys know this, but it's kind of like I'm doing everything by myself. Like I write the script by myself, I edit by myself, then the app, it's like I kind of like had help making it, but that guy went and got a real job. So it's like, okay, well, I got to figure that out by myself. So, and it's fine because I'd rather help myself than help somebody else's project. Like I get emails from other companies all the time and they ask me to make a video for them, and I only have responded to one, and it was only because I could tell it wasn't like a copy and paste. Like they actually like, hey, we really do like your channel or whatever. So I was like, hey, thanks for the email, but like I just don't recommend AI. That's just not what I do. Like I'm literally doing this because every like ad that I see, and you watch the other YouTubers and their app, it's like, oh, now with AI or whatever, and it's like, oh my god, like how much do you hate humans? How much do you want to avoid humans? Like why on earth would you want to talk to a robot? And how do you even know if the robot's teaching the correct thing? Like it is so ridiculous. Like an AI chatbot is good for certain things, but like it's not like a path to go down. This is the path right here. 1, 2, 3. And if you need help with accent and then a flashcard deck, then use my app right here. 俺のアプリ無料だからさ。And then, that's the other part. Like when you make a free app, it's like, well, how do you make money? It's like, well, there are lessons and the lessons are good. And I've already gave away, but I've offered my lessons for like the lifetime fee. But now you can get it at a monthly subscription. So like if anybody is just like, oh, I'm only going to study for 2 or 3 months, then great, because you got to graduate one day. You know what I mean? So while you're studying, pay the subscription. When you're done with your studying, get rid of the subscription and you speak English, and you still have the app. It's a free app. So literally everybody should download my app, and it's awesome. Like, make a flashcard deck, keep learning. Like, the flashcard deck is one of the best things, because like you just review it and you just press the colors to get the accent right, because accent is really important. You can go, well, now you can't go to North Korea, but there was a time when they were letting Americans come in, at least Americans. I'm not sure about other countries, but I've seen video of like tourists in North Korea. So everything's like fake, they said. Like they're just putting on a show to make it look like the restaurant's busy or something like that. But anyway, I love your video which you were asking people where you're from. Please do that again. Okay. Well, the next time I go to Japan, I'll do that for sure. Like, it was like, oh, when I'm in Japan, I can make this style of video or this style of video, right? But like when I was in like Korea or Vietnam or Thailand, I didn't know what kind of video to make. It was kind of like, oh, do I talk to the foreigners here? That's kind of stupid. But then if I'm going to talk to like the Vietnamese people, like, what do I talk about? Like, I don't know. It was kind of confusing, but I just thought of a good idea to talk to people here in America. So I'm going to do that as soon as I'm done with the other video. And then, yeah, if I go to England, oh God, or Australia, that would be easy to make a video, because anything they say would just be hilarious, because everything's about accent, right? And it's weird because even in California, if I meet somebody and they're like, what do you do? I'm like, well, you just pitched what I do. And they're like, what do you mean? I say, well, I teach California English. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, what do you mean? It's California English. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, what do you? That's what we're saying, right? So the California accent, you're like, when are you going to get it? And they're like, oh, yeah, I never thought about that. I'm like, I know, nobody thinks about it except me. So that's why I do a channel. So I'm teaching what I teach, because like everybody's got an accent. Nobody else teaches it. And you have like people like in Canada or wherever who are like teaching, can't say wanna, can't say gotta or gonna. It's like, dude, so many stupid teachers out there don't know how to learn a second language, teaching people a second language. Nothing makes sense. Nobody is being logical. And here we are. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? You're just going to sit around and listen? You're just going to watch another video? Or you're going to get outside and start talking to people? And even if you're in Japan, you can talk to people coming in, ask them questions. You got to be the host, right? Or you don't want to stay in Japan. You want to travel. You want to go to Canada. So you're the traveler. All right. Be the traveler. Talk to a lot of people. But even then, just pick one accent. That's all you got to do. It could be British, it could be American, it could be New York, it could be Australian. It really doesn't matter, but you got to pick somebody that you can be consistent with, because you're going to do this every single day. There it is, right there, every single day. And also, all day. It says, 一日中. Yeah. I mean, this is the path, right? 言動っていいまあ勝手に作ったんだけどね but the path is literally this, and this is it. So I think it's a good time to stop listening to me, because I talk too much, and I think you guys should get outside and talk to somebody new. Take all the stuff that I've been talking about and think about it, meditate on it, but get outside and share it. You know what I mean? Confirm it. See if I'm lying, and that's like kind of why I do what I do. Kind of like we're saying, like you watch other channels and it's like these other people that learned English are sharing their teaching. It's like, but you just like graduated last month. How are you a teacher? Right? But I get it. Like you're sharing your experience, which is good. But like really, at the end of the day, you got to get out there and just talk to native speakers. So simple, but it's so frightening and so scary for so many people. I don't know why. Like, I literally don't know why. Is it fear? Like, are we afraid? But then again, you look at all the war in the world, and you look at all the problems in the world, and it's like, are we afraid to talk to each other anymore? Like, what's going on, you know? And there's so much racism and hate and, well, violence, if you count the wars and stuff. It's like, well, are we going to be a part of that, or are we going to make something new? And that's kind of like why I like to share the California culture, because you have so many different types of people here, and we kind of were like the first generation, my generation, Generation X, where we don't really care like where you're from. You know what I mean? It's weird, but you only experience that if you've lived in California, you know? Like, I remember I had Thanksgiving with, like, this was when I lived in San Francisco, but with my East Coast roommate, my Taiwanese girlfriend, you know, my friend from Southern California, and we had this like weird kind of like, man, like, you know, a melting pot kind of thing, you know, all these non-Californians mixing together and, I don't know, sharing a Thanksgiving dinner, you know. Went to an Italian restaurant, but yeah, anyway, experience, guys. So get out there, make some friends. Well, AI の English ってネイティブの方からしておかしいと思います。Well, I hate listening to AI voices. I absolutely hate it. Like, if there's a YouTube video that's like the history of Japan, and it's like, you may not know, but in the Edo Jidai, and like it has this weird way of talking, and it fucking sucks. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I saw this infographic video where it's all animation, but at the beginning they said not AI, and it showed the voice actor in the beginning to show you that it's a real human's voice. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch this. Like, I absolutely hate AI voices. And even though I chat with AI for like YouTube, because AI is now connected to YouTube. So like it can analyze my analytics and be like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. AI is useful, I'm not going to lie. But for learning a language, fuck no. Like, hell no. Like, why? It just doesn't make sense. Like, for thousands of years, humans listen to each other, mimic each other, and they learn another language. I mean, that's how you learned your first language. It's how you learn your second language. When did you need a robot? You know, like, I just don't get it. It's pure marketing magic to think that, oh, AI is going to somehow do something that your ear can't, you know, like it, but you're not focusing on the ears because you keep focusing on the books, you know. And I even remember the video with like biting Garu. She was yelling at her husband because the husband kept reading books. She's like, that's why you don't learn, because you're not listening, because the girl was talking about listening. Anyway, I digress. AI has its advantages, especially if you have numbers and analytics and stuff like that. It can kind of like look at the pattern and stuff. It can read graphs. It could read charts. It's really good for a lot of things, like summarizing a video, for example. But for second language acquisition, learning a language, why? It just doesn't make sense. Like, again, maybe you can practice with it if you like literally don't know how to go outside and talk to people. But if you can go outside and you can see an English speaker, 白人とか黒人とかさ, you can try, you can speak. And that's the only way you're going to really learn, is to like get their attention, get their trust, get a few minutes of conversation, say thank you, talk to you later, like be respectful, you know, and just keep doing that. It's not complicated. Like, whenever I go to a cafe, I always have like half of my brain for focusing on me. But then, you know, if somebody's sitting next to me, it's like, oh, hey, how you doing? And you just talk. It's not hard. especially like at a cafe or something like that. So, the more than anything, I think it's like people skills that we got to learn. But I mean, where do we begin on that, right? Like everybody's like, I want to learn English. And it's like, well, you got to learn about people. Like, what? People? Like, yeah, like different people, lots of people. But that's a whole other subject. So, let's see. Japanese 喋りのシェリの英語って、カリフォルニア英語と思い、いや、そんな感じがします。俺の耳には、なんか、俺と変わらないって感じ。な。うん。カリフォルニアって、カイ先輩のおかげで、理解はまた難しいんですが、単語を聞くれるようになりました。Really? Well, どういたしまして。Don't touch my mustache. 違うか。But yeah, like, I mean, hopefully, my goal is just to spit it all out and like, hopefully something sticks in your brain just enough that like you take it to the next conversation. You know what I mean? Because right now we're on the video and the video means nothing. Like if you're on the internet, it means nothing. Like you're not really experiencing life. But the things that you remember, like I do, like all the stories that I tell you, like come from reality. You know what I mean? Like one thing I think I told you, I think I saw like on a video, like a Instagram video, the European saying, America's so big. But otherwise, like if I'm telling you guys a story, it's not because I saw an Instagram video. It's because like I've talked to thousands of people in my life around the world, So if I'm pulling experiences out from my own memory, from my own adventures, I'm satisfied with what I'm doing. But hopefully for you guys, you put the phone down, you put the computer away, and then buy a plane ticket or just go outside, go to a tourist spot. Whatever you got to do, you get out there and you actually start engaging with people and you start getting these more, realistic experiences, right? Yeah, Crystal K is very California, I would say. I mean, for lack of a better word, but it's not like it's an official language, right? Like the official California English, it's not true. Like even in California, there's various ways of speaking. So, but like Crystal K, yeah, totally sounds Californian, for lack of a better word. Like maybe people in Washington State, talk similar to me. But to me, it would sound Californian. So that's just everybody would do that, like I remember, when I was in Tokyo, I heard people speaking Kansai Ben. And I was like, 舞鶴弁話してんの? Like, いや、兵庫から。I was like, oh, well, it sounds the same to me. But anyway, yeah. No, Crystal, like, ほとんどの芸能人、そういうハーフみたいなね。メッキンニュもそうだけどね。カリフォルニアから来ましたって感じ。それか、親がカリフォルニアから来たって感じですね。だって、クリストとかは、日本生まれでしょ？だから、親の方がカリフォルニアから。でも、それでも、インターナショナルのなまりは、そう、インターナショナルスクールの行ってる人たちは、多分、カリフォルニアのなまりが多いと思うよ。俺の、韓国生まれだけど、日本育ちだけど、アメリカンスクール行ってたの友達彼の英語は、カリフォルニア・イングリッシュだったと思うよ。ね。だからね、日本でもカリフォルニア英語が多いと思うよね。はい。そうだよね。So, anyway, but the only way you really confirm it, like I said, is getting outside, going to a real place. So with that said, guys, I think it's been 2 hours almost, which is longer than I was planning, but my shoulder is doing better if you guys have been following the story. So I feel more relaxed and not worried about it, which is good. Man, it's weird, the words you learn. Like my humerus was there was a subluxation of the humerus or whatever, and so I went and got the x-ray and they were like, well, no, the bones are okay, but it's like the tendons and the muscles or whatever. So Anyway, now I got to talk to another expert, but still, because I'm being careful and I'm laying down a lot, I'm getting a lot better kind of like strength in here to be able to sit for longer periods. So that's all fine. But yeah, no, 2 hours is a lot of talking live stream, right? And to think that it's Sunday morning, like isn't everybody at the park, or is Tokyo cold right now? Actually, I can look at my screen. It says Tokyo 11 degrees. 寒っ。うわぁ、寒っ。うふ。で、私のジャパニーズは、京都プラス大阪、愛知の、なんだ三色弁当みたいな感じ。違うか。でもそういう、だってフレーバーって感じですね。なんか珍しいですね。カイ先輩ってニューヨークイングリッシュ聞ける？いや、fast っていうか珍しい。で、そのニューヨーク行った時、本物のニューヨーク人の英語を初めて聞いて、なんか映画っぽくて、なんだろう。面白いしか思えないって感じ。なんか聞き取れるよ。早いっていうか、それはだって理解してるから問題ないよ。ただだって、訛りが違う、イントネーションが違うから、なんかずっとなんか、みたいな。みたいな。そうね。でも逆に、ニューヨーク行くと、カリフォルニアの訛りで話しちゃうと、みんな、you're from California って感じね。みんなわかる。もう、雰囲気とか、匂いかわかんないんだけど、カリフォルニアのオーラが強いらしいよ、ニューヨークで。だからニューヨーク行ってみたい。なんかカリフォルニア人らしく行ってみて、なんかまあどういう反応があるかって、ちょっと見てみたいなと思うんだけどね。まあ今度ね、そういう動画、作りたいと思うんだけど、でもやっぱ俺のチャンネルでは、まあ芸能人の英語のあれって一番流行ってるから、で、自分のあれ、なんか京都の動画とかさ、そんな人気になんないから、なんかサブチャンネル作んないといけないのかな。わかんない。まだわかんない。今度やってみるから。エッジ・シーランさんのミュージックはいい印象ですが、彼はどんな特徴あります？でも彼のあれって、彼はイギリス人だよね。で、彼のインタビューとか聞くと全然あれやけど、歌うときはわかんない。訛りはないと思うよ。ね。うん。うん。でもイギリス英語だからと思うよね。でも歌う時のあれは全然違う。だってビートルズでもね、ビートルズはなんでアメリカ英語で歌ってんのってよく聞かれてたらしいよね。だから音楽になっちゃうと、訛りのあれがみんなではないんだけど、ほとんどの人の訛りが消えてしまうって感じ。でも、Blur はもうちょっとイギリス英語すぎる。でも、Radiohead はイギリス英語って感じはしない。なんだろうね。カリフォルニア英語って少しスピードがゆっくり、まあね。スピードってなんだろうね。でもアメリカ英語の省略パターンの問題もあるよね。だって What are you gonna do today? みたいな喋り方はスピードよりなんか単語が変わってしまったって感じですね。What are you going to do? って感じじゃなくて What are you gonna do? で、それは普通って感じね。早くないって感じね。普通に喋ってるって感じやから、なんか単語が変わってるって感じね。スピードより。そう、ニューヨークでもそういうなんか省略が多いと思うよね。What you gonna do? みたいな。 でもニューヨーク詳しくないから。ごめんね。そう。で、カリフォルニアのオーラ感じてみたいですね。まあ、カリフォルニアの天気とか、その太陽のあれ、だって明日はね、30度らしいよ。すごくない？今、ちょっと見てみる。ちょっと待って。俺の、あれ、よし。そう、明日は30度。よし。ちょっと、海行ってくる。そう、日本人は返事するとき、うんって言うけど、アメリカ人、いや、いや、なんか、こんな感じね。なんか、いや、まあ、電話だったらね、なんか言わないといけないね。だって、聞いてんのみたいな。でも、なんていうね、マンツマン的に目の前にいると、なんか、You're right. Yeah. みたいな、なんか言ってもいいんだけどね。日本みたいなルールではないよね。はい。はい。なんか、それはそこまでじゃないよね。イギリス英語なんですね。そうだよね。まあ、エッド・シーランはね、ミュージックできもんになったんですが、イングリッシュにも標準語、いや、だから、標準語はないよね。ね。イギリスでもアメリカでも通じる標準語はないよね。オーストラリアでも通じる、英語はないよね。だって書くときでもイギリス英語のルールはちょっと違いがあるからさ。まあ、その違い理解できるんだけどね。でも、その標準語的な訛りはない。全員が、賛成してるって感じですね。アメリカの中でも、まあ、特にアメリカにはないよね。ニュースの喋り方全員通じるんやけど、実際、現実で誰もそういう喋り方しないよね。In the news today, Iran was attacked by America みたいな喋り方はニュースだけって感じ。そう。だから、Yeah, bread, 標準語ない。ゴンゾーレス30です。暑そう。No, it's like perfect. Dude, like 30 with the ocean breeze. Dude, like seriously, in the shade, like if you just sit under the umbrella or under a tree with like ocean breeze coming in, you got a little coffee right there. Like, come on, like where else would you sit? And I think about this a lot because like I have to sit here in front of a computer and I don't want to sit in front of a computer. I'd rather be outside enjoying the earth, you know? And like, but it's like, where else would you rather sit? And even when I was in Japan, like fall or spring, I was very happy to sit outside. But in the summertime, it's like, ooh, this is getting really sticky, you know? Or in the wintertime, and this is getting really pretty cold. So I was like, okay, there's a limit of like what's enjoyable. But like California, it's always 20 to 30 degrees. So it's just like, yeah, where else would you rather sit? You know, ocean breeze coming in. You don't need an air conditioner, you know, like, yeah, I mean, it's not sticky. It's dry. Yeah. Bread and butter. Well, 使うよ. Like my bread and butter like is YouTube, you know, like, and then, but then like, you know, like the specialty, right? Like if my friend, he makes cigars, right? But his bread and butter is kind of like this particular kind of cigar. So yeah, it's like this, the thing you focus on. I don't know why we say that, but when people use it. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. You know, my bread and butter is like writing scripts kind of thing. So yeah, people use it. I can use it. So I do a lot of things, but my bread and butter is photography, right? You know, so yeah, pretty normal phrase. 標準語はない。メモメモ。メモメモ。What's メモメモ mean? But yeah, ないないない。英語の標準語はない。で、カイ先輩って、car broken into, いや、アンリさん聞いたじゃん。この間。大学生の時、でも俺、サンフランシスコに住んでたからね、実家にパーキングしといて、その、ボックスワーゲンバス、ね、ラジオが撮られた。いいラジオだった。うん。そうそうってよくある？よく使う？ No。でもそうそうは使わない。それは使わない。そうそうは使わない。使わない。使わん。あかん。あかん。No, don't use it. Don't use it. Never use it. I never use it. I would never use it. It's like, yeah, do you like it? Meh. Memo means memo. あ、そうなんや。じゃあメモ書いとこう。But, like I said, 俺のアプリでね、なんかメモを書けるから、これね。So, use it ね。ほんと。That's funny. So, anyway, guys, another beautiful 2 hours, 10 minutes is almost 2 hours because I started 15 minutes late. But I really do appreciate all your questions and I appreciate your time because, like I said, I wanted to do this so I can talk to you guys directly, answer your questions. But like I said, the entire point, the purpose is that you're inspired to get out there and actually talk to not this guy, but this guy, 1,000 people. This is who you got to talk to right here. So anything that I'm saying, it might be bullshit. Maybe I'm wrong about people saying so. I never hear it. I never use it. It's like textbook English, so it's just not really a thing. But if you go out and you hear people talk like that, then maybe they do, I don't know. But then again, you won't know till you talk to 10, 20, 30 people. So it's always good to be talking to as many people as possible. So like I said, there's two paths you got to pick. It's like, are you going to be the host? Because you're not going to leave Japan. So people come to Japan. So you're the host. And so you start speaking like a host. You invite people out. You show them the good places. You recommend things. Like you start talking like that. Or are you the traveler, right? When you go to another country and you say, hey, where's a good place? Or can you show me a good place, right? And so, you got to pick a path. Even if it's in your own hometown, even if it's in your own country, hosting is a beautiful idea. And more people literally go to countries because they know somebody already there. You know what I mean? Like they have a brother or a friend or something like that that's already there. And so my friends came to visit me when I was in Tokyo. They wouldn't go to Japan if I wasn't there, right? So it does help to make a friend. But if you don't have a friend, what do you do? And so a lot of people take tours or they get special things on Airbnb. So there's plenty of opportunities where you can put yourself out there and become a host, right? Become a guide, become a friend of somebody that's visiting your town. And there's always somebody visiting somewhere close by. But if you don't want to be living in your hometown and you want more experiences, then maybe you should move. There's no reason to stay in the town that you're in. And if you can't leave your town because of money or something, well, then maybe it's time to switch jobs. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing on this planet? We only have another 50, 60 years, right? With technology, maybe 70, 80, right? AI. But what are we doing? And if we're just going to do the same thing every single day in the same town every single day and talk to the same people every single day, like, is that really an experience? I don't know. I've lived in enough places that I'm excited about the future. I hope you guys are as well. But we're here now, wherever we are, and we have to focus on what we're doing right now. And if it's not good enough, you don't like the reality that you're living in, well, maybe it's time to switch it up. You know what I mean? But obviously, going to another country costs a lot of money. So maybe it's time to start saving money. Maybe it's time to eat more top ramen, and save up some money so you can have a foreign country experience. And even if it takes a year, it's worth it. Like I was traveling, like Mexico City and Canada. And, that was like 2 or 3 years of traveling, and I have zero regrets. You know what I mean? It's time to like focus on the app and stuff like that. So it's like, there's different seasons in life, but if it's the season to save money, then save it. But switch carriers, go to a better city, get the experience that you're looking for. Because a lot of times the city that you're in, you know it backwards and forwards, you know it like the back of your hand. And if you know everything already, and like the only place you're going to get any entertainment by looking at your phone, well, it's time to maybe recalibrate. Because, honestly, I see a lot of people in California, they're staring at their phones all day. Like I'm out, and I'm walking around, and people literally are walking with their phones in front of their face, and I just don't understand it, But there was the same thing in Vietnam or Japan, but like people just staring at their phone, It's like, well, what is this? We were born into this world just to watch TV. No, I don't know. It's not for me, And even with a big screen TV, it's like, hey, that's cool, but 1 hour, 2 hours max, right? Like I don't play video games until nighttime, for example. And I don't play video games when I'm traveling. So everything has a season, everything has a place, everything has a time. But if you're not satisfied with where you are right now, it's time to think bigger, better, and possibly even abroad. Go to Canada, go to Europe, go to Korea even. Because even going to Korea, you're going to learn so much. And trust me, like I've been to a few history things. They have some history you guys might not know about. But it's a new generation. We can talk about these kind of things and hopefully come to a better understanding of peace. Seriously. Oh my God, I hate the news. So, start to start off って同じ start off I guess just 倍によるかな like if I start to talk about it, but I wouldn't say start off to talk about it. Well, to start off,なんかフレーズによるよね。倍による。同じではない。ね。Like, to start off, there is a difference. I know that. See, for starters, there's a difference. So starters, that's a different usage of it, right? But yeah, but start paying attention to the difference. But a lot of times, when you learn a new word, you have to kind of learn the phrase that goes with it. ね。だからトイレじゃなくて、トイレはどこですか？覚えた方がいい。ね。駅はどこですか？ Right? 単語を一個ずつ勉強すると、ちょっと中途半端って感じですね。だから例文がないと理解できないと思うね。So, start は普通に動詞だから、start studying English, right? You can start anytime. I started when I was 18. But to start off, like first, まずって感じ start off は you gotta focus on accent. So, yeah, 違いあるよ。Yeah, to start off はまずって感じかな。面白いよね。日本語で言うとなんだろうって、それは別に意味ないよね。英語で考えましょうって感じだから、例文に入れてみないと区別できないもんね。はい。So yeah, to start off, translating from Japanese to English or English to Japanese is not good. You gotta kind of think, because anytime that like I don't understand a word in Japanese, like just もっと 優しい言い方教えてって感じ。ね。So, yeah, translating is almost meaningless if you think about it. So, well, yeah, but like I said, it's all fun, it's all interesting, but getting out there and then using these phrases, right? Not just the words, but the phrases with real people, with a sednin down there. And then yeah, then you can see if I'm full of shit or not. So anyway, guys, thank you so much, Hanli. I appreciate your time and all the questions. You're firing them off like a rapid machine gun. I appreciate it. And Gonzalez, cool name, and I appreciate all your interactions, and yeah, and I appreciate your appreciation. Like I said, I'm here for you guys to answer any questions about anything really, and hopefully, be an inspiration for you to get out there and talk to new people and verify everything that I'm saying to you. There was the Meteor guy, the Nokia Meteor. Thank you very much for coming in here and adding to the group conversation. And I will be releasing the new video this week. It should be, well, we'll see. Like you never know, right? But the average view duration is going to be pretty big, so we'll see what happens. So I appreciate it so much, and have a good day. I know it's cold out there for you guys, but well, even if you're in Canada, it's pretty cold, huh? So, but have a good day. Take it easy, and I will see you guys soon. Okay? じゃあね。Take it easy. Bye bye. じゃあね。さようなら。ではでは。All right. 2 hours. All right, guys. Bye bye.